Welcome back to another episode of the Isn't That Rich podcast. Today we are talking about the high school senior year before you go to college. So if you are a parent listening to this or a senior in high school, this is definitely the episode for you. We're going to be just going through the different seasons of the senior year, talking about all of the things you have to do to prep for college.
And there's a lot more preparation in getting ready for college than you would think.
Yeah, I remember when I was getting ready to graduate high school, I did not know anything. Or I wish I would have started stuff back in the fall when the guidance counselor told me to.
Right, because it
I didn't
really
believe them.
starts back in your junior year. Like in the spring of your junior year.
ACTs.
All of those tests. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's talk about it. So we're going to kind of go stage by stage throughout a high school senior's year.
Yeah, so and fall, winter, spring, summer.
Yep, and talk about all the things for each season that you need to be planning for. Mm-hmm. It's kind of apropos for what we're about to run into. I mean, we're about to start running into the fall, about to start the new school year. So hopefully this will kind of get a head start for all of the seniors.
Yes. And we have this checklist and we will link it in this podcast. And literally it's so easy. It'll tell you exactly when to do everything. It doesn't miss a beat. And we partner with a company called College Ave.
Yeah.
And they are great at helping people with student loans, but also just they have so many resources about the college experience.
Absolutely. I think they have budget trackers and worksheets to how you can set up and plan your entire budget for while you're in college, which is a huge tool too, because when I was a college freshman, I did not know how to, it was the first year I ever had to deal with my own finances on my own. And that's a big responsibility and you're still a child, really.
Right. And you're like doing your own laundry and you moved out and you're meeting all these new people. So you're already stressed enough. So
yeah, it's just a little overwhelming. And I think that the resources they have at College Ave really prepare you for those stages in life.
And they're really straightforward, I think, and super easy because you open like a FAFSA application online and you just want to shut the computer because you're like, I have no idea what the government's trying to do to me right now.
Right, or what these questions even are. Like, I don't know what my parent makes an income. Yeah, anyway, so here, let's get started. So let's talk about the fall semester for your senior year of high school. What is the first thing that a student should do, Ashley?
First things first, you're going to meet with your high school counselor. So they're going to be your main point of contact when you're talking about college and graduation. They know all of this stuff. They know the timeline. And so they're going to be your best friend. So when they come and sit in your classroom and bring you all this paperwork and talk about what you need to do to be prepared for college or just graduation in general, because not everybody goes to college.
Right.
Listen up. A lot of the stuff they're talking about is time sensitive.
Yes.
So always have a good relationship with your high school guidance counselor.
And they're going to really keep you on track throughout the year. So every time if you have an appointment with them, go see them. I was talking to you about this before and we were preparing for this episode and I don't even think I remember my high school counselor, which is a really bad sign.
Mm-hmm. See, I do.
You do remember yours.
Yeah. I think because I was just like, well, what's going on? I have to go to college now? Like, I have to get a job. I don't know.
So if you could take any advice from us in this episode, meet with your college counselor and use the resources that they provide you and listen to them and stay on track throughout your senior year.
So the next thing is to do your college research. So you have and we'll get to this, but there's so many things you have to pick before you even think about like the classes you're going to pick in college. I mean, just there's so much time sensitive stuff. So thinking about where you're actually going to college, you have to make those decisions fairly quickly within your senior year.
You do. And I know our senior year, we did a lot of college visits.
Yes.
So
Which is so fun. You get to get out of school for half a day or a day.
It was fun. And, every student is different. Whether you're not going to college, whether you're going to a junior college, maybe that's what's right for you. Maybe you're going to a 4-year college. Maybe you're going to Ivy League. Whatever is in your future, you really need to visit the college in person and just make sure it's actually a right fit for you.
Yeah.
I remember there's private schools out there which cost a lot more money and some scholarships may not apply, or maybe there are different scholarship opportunities for private schools that you're not aware of. So visiting those college in person will really open your eyes to what they have to offer you And so you can get a head start in applying for some of those grants and those scholarships.
Sure. And even just going to the town that the school is in.
Yeah.
You may get somewhere 3 hours away and be like, this is not where I want to spend the next 2 or 4 years of my life.
Right.
Not my, or like if you don't like a city.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't go to school there.
Right.
You have those things to think about. So do your college research, look online, look at their social medias, look at how much things cost, in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition. Those are all factors that you have to weigh when you're looking for colleges.
Absolutely.
But I did love going on college visits. That was so much fun.
It was fun. The next thing you're going to do in your fall of your senior year is complete your FAFSA and all the other financial aid forms. So there's a lot out there. And like we already mentioned, it is confusing.
Yeah. And it's the hardest word to say.
FAFSA. Yeah.
Acronym. FAFSA.
Yeah.
FAFSA. And FAFSA is just your financial aid. So everybody has to apply for financial aid, whether you think that you're going to need it or not. They have to have it at every single college. So make sure that you look at the U.S. Department of Education. They will offer free resources to help you with your FAFSA, but there's a lot of information that you have to know to fill out your FAFSA, like your parents' income.
Yeah.
And so work with your counselors, work with people around you to get that information.
Yeah. And maybe do it with your parents if you have time to sit down.
I definitely made my mother do it.
Yeah, sit down with your parents, schedule a meeting with your parents if that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I know people's lives are busy, especially the senior year of high school. It's crazy, but sit down and do the FAFSA with your family.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it's more fun to go shopping for a homecoming dress, but just
It is.
sit down on that Saturday and do your FAFSA, girls.
Exactly.
All right. This one, you have to write your admissions essay, and sometimes, well, I guess just depending on when you apply for college, that's when you write your admissions essay. Yeah. But did you have to write one?
I did, yeah. And the essay is kind of tricky because you have to make it super personal. And I think one of the questions on the essay was always like, name an obstacle that you've overcome, or how will you make a difference at this university, right? So
you're like, I don't know, I'm 17 years old.
But they do, how are you going to stand out from somebody else on this college admission essay? And you really just have to make it personal and about yourself.
Do all colleges have essays?
Yeah, in the application, there's a
yes. Okay, I remember. I started to say I don't remember writing a formal letter, but I did have to fill out. Yeah.
There's just the.
And I was like, I'm a good kid. Let me come to your school.
Right. So ask your parents or teachers what they might have some advice for you on what a good, what they see in you that you could write about.
Yeah, and let people proof your writing.
100%. Ask your English teacher
to proof
Give
you some good bold words
to
use.
Yes. And then the next thing you're going to do is finish those applications. So be sure to pay attention to the deadlines for your college applications because they're short and they're early in the fall.
Yeah.
And if you want to get early acceptance, you really have to have your ducks in a row. So make sure that you're paying attention to those deadlines.
Yes. So to go through the fall again for your senior year, you have to meet with your high school counselor, do your college research, and then pick a college. Complete your FAFSA and other financial aid forms, write your admissions essays, and then finish your application. Jill, with the applications, I remember filling it out. And one thing, this is the worst.
Yeah.
So I went to Murray State, and they have multiple different dorms that have been built over the years. So some are older and some are newer. Well, it's kind of like first come, first serve. So if you don't have your application in by a certain point, well, you have to apply for housing and all that. You can't apply for housing until you've applied for school.
Right.
And so I remember getting there, and the other kids, because they were more prepared than I was, got to be in the better dorms, and I was in a very bad dorm.
And here's a thing to note too.
I got out of it though.
The early decisions and early acceptances into these colleges start from October 1st to November 1st. So the month of October is early decisions. So if your application is not in by those dates, you won't be able to get those early benefits,
the benefits
of being accepted to college early.
So like living quarters, scholarships, there's so much to think about. So.
Yeah. So get on your applications right away. Right now, actually, you could be doing your applications for college.
Yeah, you could. All right. Winter of senior year. So it's probably, 3 weeks. You're on a break. You're enjoying Christmas time, but
yeah, there's
still a couple things you have to do over winter break.
Yeah. So you're going to really want to pay attention to your grades. Right away, your senior year, they call it the senior slide, right? So, you've been accepted to college. Say you got early application acceptance and you're kind of just sliding through. Your college can actually look at your grades all the way through your senior year. So you really want to be sure that you're paying attention to your grades and that you aren't falling into that senior slide, especially when it comes to the first round of holidays, right? So Thanksgiving happens, it's winter, then it's Christmas, then it's New Year. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your grades early on in the season.
Your grades are important and they play a role in scholarships.
They do.
The second thing you need to do over the winter is have your test scores sent to the schools that you are applying for. So this is a big deal. I didn't realize all of this, but you have to have, so I had to take the ACT in college or in high school. Year. What did you?
Yeah, I did mine in my junior year, ACTs,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I don't know what tests they do now. They took the ACT out or it's optional or they do SATs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Different kind of testing that you have to send your scores to these colleges, which those are things you need to be thinking about your junior year and studying because that score is important as well.
Yeah, it matters in your college acceptance for sure. I remember I took it 3 times because I wanted to make sure that I got the best, score that I could before I started applying for all these schools that I wanted to go to.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I took it 3 times.
I have test anxiety, so I said one and done.
What's funny is I took it the first time and I got my best score, and then I took it again, and
You got worse?
I got a little, a little worse, about the same, and then I took it the 3rd time and it was worse. So I was like, probably should have just stuck with my first time, but I took it.
And it costs money, right?
It does.
Testing costs money, so don't.
Back then, it was I don't remember, $90 or something.
Still, man, $90.
Yeah, so that's your
really nice foundation with that.
So that's your winter.
Yeah, not a lot happening, but an important thing to do is to send your ACT scores or your testing scores when you're applying for schools.
And pay attention to those grades for sure.
Deal.
So now it's your spring of your senior year. What are we going to do in the spring of your senior year? You're going to review your student aid report. So you remember that FAFSA that you applied for in the fall? Well, now you're going to see what you qualify as far as financial aid. And so you're going to review that and you're going to see if you received any aid. And if you did, congratulations, that's amazing. But there are some steps that you need to follow in order to receive those funds.
So,
there are things you need to do on your financial aid in order to accept the funds or receive the funds. So you want to make sure that you're reviewing everything. And then this is the time where if you did receive that fund, great. But if not, what else do you need to do to be able to afford college?
Yeah, do more research, look into the scholarships, and absolutely. Yeah, so the next thing is to consider acceptance letters. So you'll start receiving those in the mail if you apply to multiple ones. I remember that was so exciting. I was like, I got accepted, but I'm not going here. Don't know why I paid $90 for a school in Arkansas. Whatever, that was random. And financial aid awards. So you have to consider accepting those or not accepting those.
Yeah. And I think we can kind of backtrack on this one too, because there are some students out there that have their heart set on one school and they may fail to apply to other schools. You see it in movies all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They didn't get accepted to the school that they want to, and now they're kind of SOL because they didn't apply anywhere else. So make sure that you're applying to more than one option in the fall.
Yeah.
And because it takes a while to get your acceptance letter. And just make sure that you have options.
Yes, absolutely.
So then once you know how much aid you're going to receive, you're going to research student loan options if you need to take out more loans to pay for school. So you want to carefully review terms. Every loan is different. So there are tons of options out there for student loans. Like we mentioned earlier, we partner with College Avenue, and it's a loan program that we partner with. And you can check out their stuff online too, and they're a great option for you.
Yeah, or the schools you go to, they have financial aid offices and scholarship offices and loan offices. There's plenty of options, but that's a super serious thing that we've talked about before is a loan and a college loan. And so really be thinking like, am I going to stay here for 4 years? Is this what I want to do with my life? Like taking out a college loan is a big deal, and paying that back is heavy.
I had to take out some student loans, and I don't know if I actually knew what I was getting into when I did apply. Just thought, everyone does it, I'm going to do it too. Yeah, but the things you have to think about when you are taking out that college loan is how long are you going to be repaying this loan afterwards? So what are the terms?
Right. Interest rates, repayment options. Are you going to be penalized if you pay off this loan early? So say you get a great job and in the first year, maybe you receive a bonus and you want to just knock out your college loans. Are there prepayment penalties to those student loans? There's all those types of things you need to research, but there are resources out there that will show you. It's called a calculator, a student loan calculator, and I think College Ave has one on their website, but you can use that to see your loan options before you even apply for the loan. Yeah. That's probably like the biggest thing you need to think about out of like everything we say today is student loans.
Absolutely.
But here's the exciting next step in the spring is you formally will choose your school to go to. So you'll notify the school of your decision to enroll. And this says on here that you should write to the other schools that you're not going to be going with them. But
yeah, I don't think I ever did that.
I don't know if that's really a thing anymore, but sorry, I'm not coming to your school.
Thank you for
I know you really liked my application letter.
No, but maybe that is something we should do is tell them that
it's 2023. No one does that anymore. We just ghost the other schools.
But in order to receive, like to make sure or confirm your attendance, what do you need to do? You need to send in your deposit. Send in that money to your college and secure your seat with the school. So be sure to have your letter of acceptance from the school in hand before you send your deposit. So you're not going to be wanting to send that money without your acceptance letter.
They'll take it.
They sure will.
So that's spring semester. Spring semester is a big deal. A lot going on there.
It is.
So we can recap that really fast. That's going to be reviewing your student aid report. You're going to consider your acceptance letters and financial aid awards, research student loans if needed, and formally choose your college, and then send in your deposit with that acceptance letter.
Then it's school's out for summer.
Time for shopping. We're going to Target. We're going to pick all of our dorm stuff.
Oh, getting all the cute bedding that matches and the rugs and the
best. It's the best.
I know. It's furnishing your first apartment, right?
I know. It was like so fun. But like I didn't know what I needed. And my mom was like, Ashley, you have to have wash rags. You have to have towels. I'm like, I don't know. What do I just bring them from home?
Do I just take my favorite ones from your cupboard?
Like, you have to have Clorox wipes. I'm like, I do. So fun. It's like the best time when you get to go buy stuff for your dorm.
And I think like Target already has all of the college stuff out right now, like all the dorm and locker stuff.
Yeah.
You can go shopping right now. But before you go shopping, make sure you make your college budget.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you're going to do in the summer.
You're probably going to blow it all on the college dorm. That's okay. Yeah. We can save some money in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, make a college budget. College Ave has a college budget sheet. It's very straightforward, very for you visual learners out there. It's fantastic. We will link that as well.
Yeah. And then you're going to apply for more student loans if you need them.
Wow. The American dream, y'all. Yes. And then the next thing you're going to do is keep tabs on all your college bills. So those bills they'll start coming in quick once you pick your classes.
Yeah.
They're going to send you a bill in the mail. Someone's got to pay it.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. There are deadlines for your tuition payments. And if you can't make those payments, I'm sorry, they won't let you attend school there.
They'll drop
your
class.
They're pretty fast to do that. So make sure you know when those payments are due. And so you can save enough money to be able to make those payments ahead of time.
Yeah, usually they start rolling in around mid-June and then mid-August, kind of when class has been in session for a few weeks. you're going to get a bill. And if you don't pay it, I mean, they just do. They drop you out of class.
Yeah.
It's a business.
And don't forget about book fees. They're expensive.
Oh, yes. I remember I wouldn't buy a book because sometimes the teacher wouldn't have, you wouldn't use the book.
Yeah.
Or then you wouldn't buy the book, of course. And then the next week they'd be like, we have a whole test on the Odyssey.
And then it's sold out at the bookstore.
Yeah. And you're trying to connect with random strangers in your class that have the book. You're like, can you maybe drop that by my dorm?
Yeah. But make sure you save enough money to pay for your books and buy used if possible.
Yeah, Chegg's great.
I always thought, I want a new book. I want to be able to highlight where I want, make notes where I want, and not have anybody else's. It didn't matter one bit when I was actually studying the book if there was highlight in it. I probably actually gave me an advantage.
Probably would have helped you even more.
Exactly. But the fun part about starting school, the end of summer, is going to your orientation.
So fun.
So your orientation happens, it's probably about right now, like August, I would say.
They have multiple different orientation dates, so make sure you sign up for your orientation date for college. It's so fun. You'll probably meet your roommate there.
Meet your roommate.
Got to pick your roommate. But
check out your dorm.
Check out your dorm.
See the cafeteria.
Go pick your classes. It's so fun.
Yeah, I met some of my best college friends at orientation, actually, which is so fun. Yeah.
Crazy story about me. I hadn't met my college roommate. I knew what she looked like from Facebook and stuff, but we had never met. And I walked into this big orientation. I mean, huge, talking 500 kids sitting here.
Oh my gosh.
Saw a seat, randomly walked up and sat right next to her. I had no idea.
No way.
Crazy. Meant
to be.
Yes.
I love that. But attend your orientation. Don't forget to sign up for that. And make sure to go.
Yes.
It's fun.
You go and you this is the last thing on the list, guys. You pick those fall classes. That's what you do there. You sit down with an advisor and from your college or from your school, you know what I'm trying to say. And you sit there and you pick your classes and then you can't believe you're like, wait, I only have to go to 2 classes on a Tuesday, or I could not go on a Friday, and you have anxiety because you've been used to the 8-hour school day at high school, and you're like, I'm not going to graduate for at least 10 years if we're doing it this way, lady. I'm like, load up my schedule. She said, no, honey, you don't want that.
No, I would this is a huge tip. Do not load up your first semester of college with difficult classes. Take a light load your first semester because you're just getting used to living life on your own. And trust me, you're learning how to study. High school and college are completely different. Literally your whole first year, you're just learning how to study for school the right way.
And you're in extracurriculars. Not everybody is, but you're doing sorority or fraternity. That stuff takes up a lot of time too, but it's super fun. I wouldn't change any of that for the world. I learned so much in it.
And meeting all the people on your floor in your dorm room. Yeah. They all become your best friends overnight. And then there's
so fun.
Oh, it's the best.
College is the best.
Yeah. Also, picking your fall classes though, it's so stressful. When those classes open up, you have to be, so freshmen get the last choice of classes. Yeah. So it kind of goes in order when you're selecting your classes. Seniors get priority, juniors get next. And so you have a time slot to pick your fall classes. And a lot of those classes fill up by the time you get to sign up for them. So make sure you have A schedule, B schedule, and C schedule options set up. So if your first option isn't available for each class, you can go to the next option and still be able to have a cool schedule that works for you. Yeah. Because they fill up in a flash. And you're just sitting there. There's nothing you can do and you're panicking. But
it's all so new, but it's so much fun, you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy college. It's the best ever. I think I'm about to go get my master's just so I can go back.
So just to kind of summarize our summer of your senior year of high school, here are the things that you need to do. Make your college budget. Apply for any of those student loans if you need them. Keep tabs on your college bills, like your tuition payments and when they come due. Go to your orientation and have a blast, and then pick your fall classes.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be so fun.
And hopefully this is kind of giving you a step-by-step for what to do this year and giving you a heads up on when you need to start thinking about those things.
Yes. Don't be stressed. Just focus on your timeline. You will be totally fine, and you'll be so glad you did it.
And parents, we'll link all of these, the timeline that we just talked about, in our show notes, as well as our budgeting,
the calculator,
form.
all the things are fabulous.
So that'll all be available in our show notes. But thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week. So Jill, where do we go from here?
Be sure to check out our show notes for this episode, and also be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.